There's just so many things that you can do that God created you to do with your own special gifts, talents, and abilities that not everybody has. And that is how I know you are creative. And then you can teach people that because people are interested and they want to emulate you and they want to be more like you because they have shared similar interests. Hello, hello, and welcome back to another episode of the podcast, The Elevated Women's Club. I am so excited once again to be back on here sharing information and transformation tips with you because I'm going to tell you today, ladies, I have cracked the code for you. You don't need to watch any more other videos to see why you were here and put on this earth to find your purpose. What we are going to do today is start digging a little deeper, but I'm going to tell you the reason why you were put on this earth is already in the title of this video. It is to create and it is to teach. That is it. Those are the reasons why you were put here. And we're going to talk about it today. I'm going to show you exactly why you were put here on this earth and how you need to start sharing your gift today, okay, with other ladies, because this is why you're put here. There is no other reason. This is your purpose, is to create and it is to teach. And yes, we are going to talk about it from a biblical perspective because right now I am on a journey to further my relationship with God. If you are not that spiritual, if you don't believe in God, I still need you to stick around because this is not going to be just a completely religious episode. This is going to show you the formula for your success to become a creator and to become a teacher, and for you to also work on becoming the person more so than just focusing on having the thing. So I really do need you to stick around because we have a lot of good things to talk about on today's podcast. So let's get right into it. God created us in his image. God is a creator, and he teaches us through the Bible what to do in life and how to live. So we are going to look at the very first passage in the Bible. And yes, I'm going to quote it. Okay, Genesis 1, chapter 1, verse 1 and 2. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. That's it. That's all we're focusing on for today's podcast. And I'm going to tell you why that is so important, because those two sentences should set you up for success in your life. Because this is the message I got from God when I was going through my Bible study and I was dissecting this, and also with some things that I've been learning from other creators, other biblical creators on YouTube. Myron Golden in particular, I will be citing his work a lot as I go through this because it just made so much sense. You learn so much from the first two verses of the Bible, and it essentially sets you up for success for your entire life. So when God tells us in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth, he is telling us so much. The first thing he's telling us about himself is that he is creative. He creates things because he's naturally creative. So if we are created in his image, we are also naturally creative. So when you think that you don't have any creativity, you don't have any talent, any skills, it's false. You do. You just haven't tapped into it. Usually there's something else there that we're going to talk about a little later that's going to come out probably with inner work and things that you have to do to unblock some of these, mental things that are going on that are preventing you from tapping into your natural creativity. But you are a creator. He created us to create stuff and he made us to make stuff. Why? Because he creates and he makes. We are created in his image. So I hope we're all following. Okay, because this was mind-blowing for me. I'm sharing this because this was the message I was given when I was doing my Bible study, and it just kind of blew my mind. I wasn't expecting to get so much out of the first two sentences of the Bible when I read it, and then when I thought back to some of the videos that I've looked at over a span of time from Myron Golden, I realized wow, this is all starting to click now. And think about what God has made. God's creation is perfect. Everything lives in harmony and is perfectly balanced in this world, in this universe. The heavens are perfect. The earth is perfect. The galaxy that he created is perfect. Maybe we can't create to that level of significance because we are not God, but what can you create now? What thing of significance can you create that's in your control now, today, to help someone? That is the message that I got. If we are creative, our job is to look for ways to be creative. That is how we feel fulfilled. That is how we take ourselves to the next level and become more in line with our spirituality. That is why when you feel like you're in a creative state, a flow per se, even if you don't think creativity looks the way you think it should look, like let's say you're incredibly productive, you are a coder, everything's very straightforward by the book. You know how to code, you know how to create. That is a creation. Just because it doesn't look glamorous and artsy and full of life like dancing does not mean you're not creating. Engineers create. Doctors create. Very technical skill sets can create. Don't think just because your gift doesn't look like someone else's that you're not a creator. Because you absolutely are, ladies, I promise. So like I said, the message and the thing you need to be asking yourself is, what can you create of significance that will help someone else achieve a goal or a skill set that you are proficient in, that you are good in? Because that's the message I got. God created something of significance, the heavens and the earth, incredibly significant. His power is within us. How are we going to create something of significance with our gifts in our own right, with our own talent that is going to help others, just like God helped us and put man on earth and under the heavens to give us life and to have an existence and create joy and happiness and fulfillment in the world and within ourselves? How can we do that? And how can we fulfill our purpose in the world now? By being creators. That's what we really should be asking ourselves. So now I'm going to tell you the secret equation. And I got this from Myron Golden. So it just made sense to me when he broke it down from a biblical perspective because I hadn't thought about it like this. But I'm going to show you how you become the ultimate creator of whatever it is you are interested in or have skills in, or whatever sets you apart as being a creator, whether that be dancing, music, programming, architecture, like whatever that is for you. I'm going to show you how to set yourself up for success. The equation is be, do, and have. So how do you create something of significance? You first have to focus on becoming the person more so than you focus on having the thing that you desire. And I know that sounds hard because I think so many of us focus on the end result, having the thing that we want, usually something physical or material like a car, a house, a purse, or a position, more so than we focus on the process of achieving that or getting that thing that we want. And I know I'm probably harping on this, but it's important. It's so important for your life purpose and your journey. So in order to create anything of significance, you first have to become a person that can create something of significance. Let me explain. The way you do this is only by renewing your mind, which working on your mental health, and then separating yourself from things of the physical world like expectations, outcomes, material things that you want so badly to achieve and have. And then also by working on becoming a blessing or a gift to every single person that you come into contact with, serving them at a higher level, whether that be your family, your friends, strangers, anyone. You have to work on becoming that transformative person that you may not be right now in this moment in order to be the person that can create something of significance. That's the being part of the first part of the equation. Then you can focus on the doing, and then you focus on the having. I promise it's a process. You will feel so much more fulfilled. Life will be so much easier. Your mental health will be set apart from anyone else probably that you know once you start looking at the equation of, I'm looking at it from a process standpoint as opposed to just having this one little thing, this one little item that I want. And you're becoming the person now that can create something of significance like God did, and you will be so much more aligned when you connect at a deeper level to yourself and your spirituality. I promise. So again, you first have to work on becoming someone who can create something of significance in order to be able to do something of significance, and then you will have something of significance. The money, the house, the car, the clothes. It is an equation. I promise that the people that you follow, that you look up to so much in, YouTube, social media, wherever, they didn't just wake up like that. Chances are like 99% of them did not. And it took a long time, or whatever their process looked like. It could have been pretty short, could have been pretty immediate for some people, but they still went through a process. They still had to renew their mind. They still had to find a way to help others. And they still had to also find a way to remove the expectation or the outcome, because you can't control it all the time. They might have had a plan to be like, okay, I want to get 1 million YouTube subscribers, and then I'll be able to get $10 million in revenue a year. Maybe that didn't look like that immediately. Maybe they have it now. Maybe they have more. But it doesn't mean that they didn't go in there and their plans didn't change along this process of becoming who they were and doing the things and the outcomes that they set out to do. It didn't mean everything went to plan. Chances are it did not. And they had to pivot. They had to change. But when you focus on becoming, you can focus on then the doing and the execution. And then I promise you will have all the things you could ever want and desire. It is all part of the process, but first you have to work on renewing your mind and becoming the person, and that is what you do through creating. That is when you become the doer. So now I'm going to tell you why we are also all teachers. And I heard another creator talk about this. I actually don't think he believed in God once I heard this, but he did say if God wanted us to learn something, he did the right thing by putting it in a book. Because we all still use books. I don't care if you look at physical books or audio books. A book is a summation of teachings, lessons, stories that are put into something that the author wants you to experience with them or learn something from. So by God creating a book for us to learn from, the Bible, by having his people on this earth before we were ever here, create a book that teaches us exactly how to live, just about step by step. If you really start reading and digging into your Bible, I'm telling you, he is a creator and he is also a teacher. He didn't want us to be lost. Just like when you're reading a business book or an entrepreneurship book, you're reading it to learn something, right? Something that you didn't know before, from a collection of that person's past lived experiences and lessons and hardships and challenges. And they want you now to have that information. That way you don't make the same mistakes. Maybe you get there on a shorter timeline. Maybe you learn less lessons, right? Through hardships and challenges, because now you've read that book, you've understood it, you've taken those lessons and those teachings, and now you're taking that and saying, okay, I don't want to do that, or I am going to implement this and I'm going to learn from it. That is what the Bible is. It's no different from any other book. It is the first book, the most popular book. It has so many things to teach you because it is the living word, right? So when you think about it, that is probably the best thing you can do is read. Not just the Bible, anything. But it is so important to know that you are a creator because God is creative and he works through you. But you are also a teacher because he decided to capture all of his lessons, precepts, principles, put it in a book for us to learn from. Therefore, you have the same thing in you. You can teach. That is what you're put on this earth for. You don't have any of the same skill sets. You have, you can put your own individual spin on something. You can be a very articulate speaker. A lot of people can speak very well, very eloquently, but there's something about you that makes you a little different. Something about you that can resonate more deeply and better with someone that someone else maybe who's a great speaker can't do, right? We all have our little things and our little nuances and our lived experiences and our challenges that we all go through that we can all teach someone else about. And it really is giving off that energy to attract someone that you can help. That is how I know you were put on this earth to create and you were put on this earth to teach. And so I'm going to give you an example of this from my own life. And it's a very simple example, but I have always been into like choreographed dancing. I have rhythm, but I cannot dance like that. I cannot follow a routine. Like I probably could if I really tried, like if it was something incredibly interesting to me, which it is. I love to watch dance videos, but I just don't have the discipline. I don't have the desire to try that hard at something that I know is not my natural gift. However, me and my friend, we thought it was going to be so fun to do a heels class because I wanted to learn, that sexy, sensual dancing and move my body in a way that I usually don't. And honestly, it was one of the most fun things that we have done. Like I loved the heels class, but it did not come naturally to me or her, right? And so when we were training with the guy, he kind of downplayed it. He was like, oh yeah, I do this when I can. He's like, it's not really my passion, but he was so good at it. Like, so he downplayed his gift, his creative gift, but he knew he was good at it, but it was just so easy to him. It was so natural. So he didn't really think that people wouldn't find it easy. I think you don't think about all the things that you do on a daily basis, all the talents, the skills, and things that you have that you can use to be creative and teach someone. He taught us choreography that he just came up with on the fly. Like, he never had anything planned. And we were like, oh, this is the most amazing choreography. We feel amazing in our bodies. We're doing all this stuff. And then he encouraged us to play around with it. And that is really just a great teacher. Like, someone who just makes you feel comfortable, who can create from nothing and just finds his flow and does his thing or her thing. And that is how you know you're fully in your creator energy, when you can just do it effortlessly. But my thing is, don't downplay it, ladies. Do not downplay it, because from that, he was already teaching dance choreography, so that was amazing, but he wasn't really doing it like on YouTube. And I think his social media was kind of like, he was serious about it, but not really. He was just showcasing what he does and how he teaches. But you can make dance workout classes. You can do workshops. You can make a workout fitness guide, like a dance workout fitness guide. There were so many things he could have done, and not to say he won't, or not to say it even interests him, but to downplay your creative ability is what I don't want us to do anymore, because I did the same thing. I used to think I was not creative at all. And just by me getting on here, giving my stories, telling you guys what I've learned throughout my Bible study and whatever my lived life experiences are, that is creativity. Not everyone can do this, even though we've all just about been given the same gifts. Like, we all have a brain, we can all think, we all have a mouth, we can all speak, but not everybody uses their creative abilities to their fullest potential. I didn't do this for so many years. Now I've been getting so many downloads, so many, opportunities, so many things have been coming up for me just because I feel like I'm finally in my creative flow, my creative space. So that's my thing. Dancing is a simple example. There's so many things you can do if you're a natural dancer, but there's so many things you can do if you're naturally good at coding or architecture or engineering or writing or social media posting and content creation. There's just so many things that you can do that God created you to do with your own special gifts, talents, and abilities that not everybody has. And that is how I know you are creative. And then you can teach people that, because people are interested and they want to emulate you and they want to be more like you because they have shared similar interests. And that is how you can be successful and feel fulfilled in life. That is your responsibility, to create and to teach people and help them throughout life learn something that comes easy to you. So how do we focus on the being, which is the only step we're going to talk about in this video, really is just focusing on becoming the person that can be the creator and can be the teacher. First off, you have to believe that this is what God created you to do. You have to stop downplaying it. You have to put the limiting beliefs aside. That only comes from a renewing of your mindset. I promise you, once you start going through your transformation journey, you will start to see how many limiting beliefs you have, unfortunately. I did another video of this. I will link it in the notes, but I want you guys to know that you are creatives and we need to stop downplaying it. You have to believe that you were created and put on this earth for a purpose, and stop letting other people's opinions, thoughts, emotions drive your decisions and your actions. You can't control anyone else. You can't control the outcome. You can't control anyone's expectations of what you create. But I promise you that once you come up and start being your more authentic, genuine self, it'll all work out for you, because that is the space that you're in. You're naturally good at something. The more you practice at it too, the more you start doing it, the more you start teaching and helping people, the more naturally it will come. But you can't do that if you never start, if you never believe that that's what you were created for. And then your gift is wasted. And that is not what I want from anyone, I promise. We want to utilize our gifts, our talents, our strengths for ourselves and to help others, and that creates the fulfillment part. And I promise you will have all the things you want to have. You will. They may look a little different. They may come to you differently, but the more you work on yourself, the first part of the equation, be, do, have, B. B is the first. You cannot have without the B. It will take away from the entire experience for you, and it won't feel the same. And it'll be very short-lived if it does come to you at all, because you won't be ready for it. You won't be able to hold it. You won't be able to grasp it, and you won't be your true authentic self. And you won't even believe that you are capable of having something so nice or so, prosperous, because you haven't worked on the becoming part of it. And I'm going to talk about this shortly because I've already made some videos on this, but inner work. Inner work is going to help you work on the being part. Inner work has totally changed my life completely. And by inner work, I mean diving deeper than surface level journaling, asking yourself, going on Pinterest or just typing into ChatGPT or Google, like inner work prompts for childhood trauma healing, inner work prompts for forgiveness healing, inner work prompts for toxic relationship, narcissistic abuse healing. Whatever it is for you that you feel like you struggle with, that you have a block up and there's some work that you need to go through in order to heal and to move forward and tap into that creative energy fully, that's what I want you to do. Because we cannot continue to stifle it. The more trauma and unhealed thoughts and negativity and emotions you have, the less creative you will feel. You won't feel safe in your body. You will always be operating in survival mode, and that is not what I want for anyone. So in order to fully be in your present self and feel confident in your body and show up fully, you have to become that person by diving deep into your past previous experiences that are blocking you from that creativity, that are the trauma that have come up for you, that you need to work on and you need to process, but it's almost too painful. And it's not easy. I have had a lot of breakdowns. I have filled up notebooks with journal work prompts that I know I needed to work through. But I am telling you, I have never felt better. And also just connecting with God more for me personally, or spirituality in general, whatever that looks like for you, that is something you need to focus on in this era, because you will not be able to fully unlock your creative energy until you work on healing why it is blocked in the first place. And the last way that you can focus on the being part of the equation is to remove the expectation and remove the outcome from whatever it is. So essentially the have piece of the equation. Stop focusing so much on the have. We all want to have things in life. We all want that car, that house, that $10 million. We all want that. But when you do that, you're automatically setting yourself up for failure if you're not in the state of being the person that can have something of significance. So if you desire to have $10 million, how are you going to achieve that when you haven't even worked on becoming the person that can create something that generates you the $10 million? It's almost impossible. So you can't have something of significance until you work on first becoming the person that can have something or create something of significance. So remove the expectations, because you're setting yourself up for failure, unfortunately. And I'm telling you this because I've been there a million times. Again, we all focus on the have. And when we want to have something so bad and it doesn't happen in the timeline that we expect it to happen, we give up. We feel like failures. We don't want to continue with it anymore. And chances are we either weren't destined to do that in the first place, or we gave up on it too soon because we put an expectation on it that it didn't deserve to have. Like maybe we will get $10 million one day. Is it going to be a year from now? Is it going to be 10 years from now? Is it going to be 15 years from now? We don't know. But to automatically say that I want $10 million in 6 months, could it happen? Absolutely. Anything can happen. It really can. But the expectation is going to set you up for failure if it doesn't work out in the way that you thought it would. So that's how you hurt yourself in the being process. Then you think you're a failure. Then you have limiting beliefs. Then the negativity starts to creep in. Remove it. Just focus on becoming the person and be okay with the slow journey. Sounds difficult, but I'm telling you, you're just going to set yourself up for failure and so much more negativity in your life than you need and deserve, when you could just be happy in your day-to-day life, in your day-to-day actions. And just, if you do set an expectation, set it for that day. Let's stop looking and let's stop normalizing looking 50 steps ahead in a process, because life is long. Life, if you are lucky, it will be long. Life shouldn't be short lived. And if it is, like, I agree, like, people have things that happen in life, or they might have terminal illnesses, but still, just take it slow. Life is not meant to be rushed. God wants you to go on this journey. He wants you to find yourself. He wants you to be happy. You should want to be happy. You should want to find fulfillment. You should want to create. You should want all of these things, but not to say they'll all come immediately. And when I looked at that first verse, God created the heavens and the earth. He only did that on the first day. It took him, well, arguably, right? It took a while, but he created all the things of the earth over the course of 7 days, right? So he still took breaks. It still took him some time. Why do we think that it's going to be immediate for us? He still took it day by day and then rested at the end of each day. And we're going to talk about that on a few videos from now, because I want to talk about rest. And it is important. And chances are, if you are a normal, healthy human being, you are able to rest, not just physically, mentally rest. Stop consuming, stop thinking, stop worrying. I'm telling you this because I did all of these things for so long, and it did not help me. It did not get me any further in life towards what I wanted and desired. In fact, it might have even set me back a bit, and I have learned so much about myself, so I'm so thankful for it. But let's normalize resting. Let's normalize becoming. Let's normalize creating from a place of healthy mindsets and healthy creativity, not pushing ourselves to do something that doesn't align with us or our skill sets or our passions. Let's normalize becoming the person first, and then teaching someone more about something that is passionate to us. So I hope that this video really helped you understand what your purpose is, understand why you were put on this earth, understand that you are a child of God and that you are made in his image. Whatever that looks like for you, whatever your spirituality is, mine is in Christ. But I know that I am put on this earth for a reason and a purpose, and that is for fulfillment for myself and to help others and bring joy to them. And I finally realized that, and I feel so much more confident every single day that I go out into this big, crazy world that we are all in. So if you have any questions, comments, please leave them down below. I will answer them all. I really hope that this video blessed you. And I hope, sis, that you find your passion. I hope you find your creativity. I hope you unpack and unlock all the things within you that you know need to be set free in order to be able to deeply access that creativity. I am rooting for you. And if you need any help with this, I have a free inner work healing within guide below that is pretty much a digital workbook that you can use to pretty much target a lot of this unhealed energy that you might have, these trauma blocks, the healing that needs to take place in your life. That way you can unlock that creative side. All right, until next time.